The Mississippi band Three Doors Down would rise to prominence in the early 2000s thanks to their hit single Kryptonite, which was found on the group's debut record, The Better Life. The record would go on to sell 7 million copies in America, thanks to other hits including Loser and Be Like That. Three Doors Down's sound would be described as alternative rock, post-grunge, while also containing some elements of southern rock. Three Doors Down's original lineup consisted of Brad Arnold on vocals and drums, Matt Roberts on guitar, and Todd Harrell on bass. Despite the group's platinum albums, their history has been fraught with problems, and today we're going to take a look at the troubled career of the group's bassist Todd Harrell. Three Doors Down bassist Todd Harrell and frontman Brad Arnold go way back, long before Three Doors Down was even formed. Arnold would reveal that Harrell was several years older than him and used to date his sister when they were in middle school. Three Doors Down would be formed in the mid-90s in Escatapa, Mississippi, getting their name during a trip to Foley, Alabama. It was while they were walking through town that they saw a sign on the ground that read Doors Down. Since there were 3 members in the band at that time, they called themselves Three Doors Down. They would eventually expand to a 5-piece to include rhythm guitarist Chris Henderson, who joined in 1998, and drummer Richard Lyles, who joined the band during their tour for the first album. Three Doors Down's first decade of releasing albums saw their first 3 records go at least platinum, and they would go on to sell 30 million records throughout the course of their career. It was during his time in and out of the band, bassist Todd Harrell would have numerous run-ins with the law, starting in May of 2002. A complaint was filed against the bassist accusing him of assaulting another man at a party in his home in Escatapa. The man would tell the Jackson County Sheriff's Department that Harrell assaulted him, knocking out a tooth, loosening others, and he would end up needing 7 stitches for his lip. Harrell was incensed that the man was recording their conversation and kicked him out of the house. The man that Harrell allegedly attacked claimed that he carried around a tape recorder because he suffered from memory loss from a past car accident. Harrell will be found not guilty. In March of 2004, the bassist would be accused of simple assault in Moss Point, Mississippi. 53-year-old newspaper delivery man for the Mississippi Press newspaper accused the bassist of stealing copies of the paper from a local convenience store vending machine. He would accuse Harrell of taking 3 copies of the paper after he only paid for 1. The delivery man would tell the police that him and his wife followed the bassist back to his car, and an argument ensued and he was assaulted by the musician. The delivery man would end up admitting to the police that he pulled a gun on Harrell, and Harrell would eventually be found not guilty, acting in self-defense. Fast forward to June of 2005, he would be arrested on disorderly conduct charge after he was involved in an argument with a security guard at the Gulfport Biloxi International Airport. Then in the summer of 2012, the bassist would be arrested for a DUI after allegedly crashing his black Cadillac into a Toyota truck in southern Mississippi at around 7 in the morning, causing heavy damage to both vehicles. The driver of the truck had to be taken to hospital with neck and back injuries. In addition to being charged with a DUI, Harrell was also charged for not wearing a seatbelt, and he would later admit to the police that he had taken 5 different prescription drugs. And then in April of 2013, Harrell would be charged with vehicular homicide by intoxication when he was driving on the interstate just outside Nashville, Tennessee. Harrell was driving at 100 miles per hour and hit a pickup truck whose driver lost control, smashed into the guardrail, and veered down the roadway embankment, overturning multiple times. The driver of the truck, a 47-year-old man named Paul Shoulders Jr., was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected out of the vehicle and would be transported to a local hospital where he would end up succumbing to his injuries. Harrell would tell the police that he had been drinking hard cider and taking prescription medication at the time of the accident. When the police took him to prison, they found that he was bringing in a controlled substance when they found dozens of pills inside his socks. Fox 10 News would go to his hometown and interview a few people, as you can see here.
He's not the only one who went through that. A lot of people do, especially when they hit fame. You know, they'll go to drinking and doing drugs and stuff.
It just hurts because he's done some good for the community, the whole group. You know, it's just a sad situation.
In response to his arrest, Three Doors Down would cancel 4 tour dates, and Harrell would eventually be fired from the band. Then in January of 2014, Harrell lost his appeal from his first DUI case from 2012, and it was in the courthouse he knocked a cell phone out of the local reporter's hand who was trying to take his picture in the hallway. The newspaper would not file a complaint with the police. Then a month later, on February 18th, the bassist, who was on bail awaiting his vehicular manslaughter trial, was arrested on another drug-related DUI charge. A pedestrian pedestrian would call 911 telling authorities that a man was sitting in a vehicle slumped over his wheel at 7:01 p.m. in D'Iberville, Mississippi. 10 days later, the bassist would be sentenced to house arrest while he was still awaiting his trial on the vehicular manslaughter charge. In March of 2015, the bassist would plead no contest to his most recent DUI charge, be sentenced to treatment and 6 months in jail, and have a breath-sensing device installed in his car. Then in December of 2015, he pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide and transporting contraband into a penal institution. A judge would sentence him to 2 years in prison with 6 years of probation. At the hearing, up to 40 people and organizations signed letters in support of the bassist, bringing attention to the good work he had done, including donating over $1 million to Mississippi after Hurricane Katrina in 2005. The bassist would reveal his drug problem started in the mid-2000s due to a knee injury, where he was then prescribed pain medication, telling a faith-based community group, "I can't tell you how that changed my life. Having everything at your fingertips. Fame, we had it all. Won Grammys, did movies," adding, "The police pulled me out of the car that night," referring to his 2013 arrest, "and were giving me field sobriety tests, and I was like, why aren't you doing this to the other guy? They said, well, that guy's dead. I have nightmares about it. It changed my life. It took who I was and just turned me upside down. Paul died and he didn't have to for a decision that I made." It would also come out in court that he was having an affair with his probation officer, and she would help him violate the terms of his probation. Harrell would end up only serving a year in prison due to vehicular homicide charges, according to Loudwire, being let out early for good behavior. Then in June of 2018, Harrell would be arrested once again when police appeared at his home after an alarm went off at his St. Martin, Mississippi home. Harrell's wife would tell the officers that she was involved in a fight with her husband, and the responding police would notice guns and marijuana in the home, and he would be arrested for 3 counts of felon in possession of a firearm and drug possession charges, as well as simple domestic assault. He would get a decades-long sentence. 2 months later, in August of 2018, while in prison, the police confiscated an envelope containing drugs that was addressed to Harrell. Harrell would be charged with sneaking contraband into jail. It was shortly after the police announced that it would be Harrell's wife who tried to send him drugs while he was in prison, and she would be arrested. As for what his former band members in Three Doors Down have to say about the bassist, frontman Brad Arnold would admit to Loudwire that they had chatted shortly before he was sent to serve his prison sentence for a vehicular homicide charge, adding, "For us, he was more than our bandmate, he's our brother. I've known Todd for a lot longer than we've been in a band together. We'll never turn our back on him. He's definitely got his things to face right now, and our new song, Fell From the Moon, is sort of about him. Just about how you can have everything going your way and it can fall apart." That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in Rock and Roll True Stories.